Konami, you made me do this. As you guys know, I love you. I have this as my main backdrop for a lot of my stuff, even non Yu-Gi-Oh related things, but this will soon be part of that. But Yu-Gi-Oh, big part of my life, and will forever be a big part of my life. But Konami is making it really hard for me to get really competitive. I'm not a competitive person. You guys know this. I prefer to play the game as it is, as it should be. Going back and forth. None of these OTK decks and just piling out cards on the first or second turn. It's like, that's not how I grew up playing this game. But Konami just will not let this go away. So I made a deck. And if you guys saw any of the Phantom Rage openings, you know what deck this is. So let's get to this. So you got extra deck, side deck, and the main deck. And of course, it's going to be separated into 3 parts, as all decks usually are. So we're going to go ahead and start with monsters. And this deck, I actually kind of wanted to build it. That's why I actually originally bought the Phantom Rage booster box. Booster boxes. So I actually really wanted this deck. And anyways, to start off, we're going to have 2 Ash Blossoms. Kind of just a normal staple for a lot of decks. It's just a hand trap that easily used for countering. Next we have 3 Virtual World GG or Jai. GG. Next we have 3 Virtual World Leo. 1 Lulu. This is actually kind of an expensive card. I'm going to give a little description on the deck here after I do the profile, so wait for that. I'm going to have 3 Lili, 2 Nian, and then 3 Toto. That actually does it for all the monsters. Not a whole lot. Decent amount. But the only real non-virtual world monster is going to be Ash, so not too bad. Next, we're going to go with... let's go with spells. Why not? So we're going to go with 3 virtual world cities. Yeah. And you should be right here. I tried to organize this, and apparently it did not work too well. So, next we have 3 Virtual World Gates, 2 Foolish Burial Goods, 1 Swords of Revealing Light, 1 Monster Reborn, 1 MST, 1 Foolish Burial, and 1 Dark Hole. Not too bad. I mean, we got some decent cards for this deck because a lot of the effects are really good from Graves. So, and then last we have traps. So 3 Virtual World Gates, Chu-Chi, 1 Magical Cylinder, 1 Typhoon, 1 Heavy Storm Duster, 1 Mirror Force, 1 Solemn Judgment, and then 2 Dimensional Prisons. Alright. That does it with the traps. So, next we have the extra deck. So we're just going to blast through this because I I think everybody already knows the extra deck pretty well. So 3 Virtual World Beasts GU, 1 Virtual World Shen Shen, 3 Virtual World Long Long, 3, oh god, I can't read that, Fan Fan, and then 3 Jia Jia. Extra deck, everybody pretty much knows it, because there's not a whole lot of extra deck Virtual World cards you can actually have, so pretty much use what you got. Now, here is my side deck. I have 2 Cosmic Cyclone, an extra Typhoon, a Forbidden, oh gosh, Apocrypha? I have no idea. No clue. I don't know how to pronounce. An extra Heavy Storm Duster, a Red Reboot, an extra Virtual World Nyan Nyan, and then something I don't think belongs in this deck, but I just wanted it in there just in case. 1 Golden Sarcophagus. Don't think it belongs in here. I probably will take it out after I get a few duels in with this deck, but I have it in here just for now. Not exactly gonna I'm more than likely not gonna keep it in here. So let me explain a little something. I wanted to make this deck as much Virtual World as possible, but with the spells and traps, it would be hard because there's not a whole lot of Virtual World cards for the spells and traps. So a lot, all but 2 monsters are Virtual Worlds, though Ash Blossom is a good staple. So I decided to put 2, not 3. I have multiple Ash Blossoms, but I wanted to have 2 in here. I don't think I need 3, but that's just me. But other than that, that's the deck. Yeah, Konami has made Yu-Gi-Oh! Into something that I don't like. Like, I'm not saying I don't like Yu-Gi-Oh! Itself. I love Yu-Gi-Oh! I love the cards. I love collecting. I love opening packs. But dueling has kind of lost its interest to me. Sadly, that was one of the main perks of Yu-Gi-Oh! That I really loved. Back in high school, I played Yu-Gi-Oh! Almost every day. So, having Yu-Gi-Oh! To where it just busts out monsters and monsters, like, it just ruins it for me. I love the back and forth that you have for Yu-Gi-Oh! And a deck like this, it kind of ruins it. And I made this deck because I wanted the Virtual World. Virtual Worlds looks cool. The way it works is interesting. You get effects from Grave and just everything, but just the piling on and making a turn last 20 minutes, maybe. If you're like really slow at reading, like I am, you could probably just make it last 10 minutes, but it's not how Yu-Gi-Oh! Was. You would go set a couple of cards, your next turn, then it'd just be a back and forth with that. In high school, we had decks like this, like Light Swarms and, oh man, I don't remember a whole lot of the decks that were relevant. I know Light Swarms were, I know my Fairy deck was, but that one was also not really a pump out monsters. It was just have a few monsters and try to shut down my opponent by canceling their special summons. But that was fun because you had to work to get it. A deck like this, you're not really having to work to bust out monsters. It's all their effects. Their effects are what causes the whole madness. And the OTK decks, they're really annoying. I'm going to put that out there. I don't like OTK decks. A lot of people don't. But those same people make OTK decks. They don't like OTK decks, but they'll make them. just so that way they can compete with the other competitors. It's like, if you don't like OTK decks, don't use them. And honestly, tournaments, locals, and all that really should have some kind of restriction. If it's like big competitive world tournaments, I can kind of see it, but locals, not really. I want to go back to locals. Obviously, with the COVID stuff, it's hard, honestly. But once locals come back, I want to try and go. But if decks like these are out there, and the locals just don't do anything about it, where's the fun in it? So, I don't know. I wanted to do this deck profile. I made it. It was like, I had fun with it. It was like one of the first decks that I built in a while that I actually enjoyed. I actually bought a few extra cards, like Leo. I had 2. I bought a couple extra. A lot of the virtual war cards are not expensive now. If you buy it like I do, I bought like 6 cards of 1 card, or like with Jaja. No, not Jaja. What was it? Geo. I bought like 5. I only needed like 1 more, but I bought 5 because I wanted extras. That kind of makes things more expensive because you're buying in bulk, which brings up your total. But that's what I do. I like to have extras, and it kind of affects it in the way that I can actually build a deck like this. But Lulu, I don't really want to spend $15 on a card. So the one Lulu I have, the one Lulu I pulled in that second box opening, which was a crazy box opening, by the way. That's the only one I'm going to use. If I pull expensive cards and I have something that I can use with it, I'm going to use it. But I'm not going to go out there and buy an expensive card. I will probably buy booster boxes to try and get the card, but I get the whole fun of opening packs and whatnot. Anyways, enough with that. Back to this and my rant. I'm just ready for Yu-Gi-Oh! To get back to where it was. It probably is not going to be the way it was before, like ever again. We're always going to have OTK decks, but if locals could actually like just simmer down some players' decks, kind of ban OTK decks. Now, decks that really punch and kind of lock down, that's a different story. Yes, they're annoying, but you can actually try and strategize around that. OTK decks, if you're the first person, you don't know what you're going up against, you play the way you want. Their turn, you're gone that turn. And then you go to the next duel with them. You're like, okay, I have a couple of cards that I could probably use, or I really prepared for it, and you still lose. It's like OTK deck. There you go. That's all it is. 1 turn deck. And yes, a lot of it for them is luck based. Whether they can get that 1 card they need, or they have that 1 card. A lot of times it'll take a couple of turns, but by then you kind of know what you're getting yourself into, and the fun just stops. Like I said, I love Yu-Gi-Oh! But probably not going to use this deck really for like tournaments. I just wanted to see how it would perform the way I duel. And I haven't really tried it. I'm going to be honest. I have not tried it. I have a couple of sites that I play Yu-Gi-Oh! On, like very rarely because I don't really have time anymore. But this deck was more of a fun project for me than something that I'm going to competitively use. because that's what Yu-Gi-Oh has become now. It's just something I can only really collect, and if I'm gonna duel, I'm gonna duel my friends. And the last quote unquote friend I had, who I played with, I brought out a deck that kind of shut his deck down. He built a deck that he hated and then he deconstructed, reconstructed it again just to beat my deck, and it's like, why? I've got like multiple decks. You guys have seen a couple of them, but building decks just to spite someone is another thing that annoys me. So, whatever. I guess this is going to be the end of my rant, because if I rant any longer, this is going to be a long video. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry for the rant near the end. If you guys have left already, oh well. But if you guys are still here, my last video, or not my last video, my special video that I did for the same week as part 2, I forgot to show a tuner. But it was kind of a special episode, so today we have this little guy. This one was supposed to be shown on that, but I forgot it. Anyways, we have Effect Veiler. Probably one of the most sought after tuners that I was looking for. I hadn't gotten it for years, and then I have multiple now, and I only have 3 in this sleeve, because only 3 go in a binder. The rest go in my in my extra pile. I have a large extra pile now. I actually had to buy another container to start using for my tuners, because it is getting full. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, sorry for the rant, but I really needed to get that off my chest. And this deck, I never thought I would try to make a competitively viable deck. I don't know how competitively viable this is. I know it's really good. I know it has a lot of uses in the competitive field, but I did not make it for competitive play. I made it for casual play, and I just wanted to see how well I could do with my restrictions. So, yeah. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment down below what kind of deck you want me to try and make. Again, I am a casual player. I will build decks casually. Don't think I'm gonna build a competitive deck just because y'all asked me. Y'all can ask me to build a really competitive deck. It'll probably be a casual version of that competitive deck. So I just want to see what kind of suggestions you guys have out there, because a lot of the decks nowadays are just competitive, and I want to see what kind of deck I could build from what you guys suggest. So, yep, that's what I want y'all to do. So, have a wonderful day or night, depending on where you are in the world and when you're watching this. And I will see you guys in the next video, whatever video that's gonna be. Bye.